Viktor Frankl, Finding Meaning in the Darkness. In 1942, Viktor Frankl, an Austrian psychiatrist at the height of his career, was deported along with his wife, parents, and brother to a Nazi concentration camp. It was a place where life was systematically crushed, where human beings were reduced to numbers, and where death became routine. Frankl lost everything. His wife perished in another camp. His parents and brother never returned. In a place where tomorrow meant nothing and dignity was stripped away, the only thing he had left was himself. But even that, holding on to oneself, was a struggle. And yet, it was in the depths of this unimaginable suffering that Frankl made a quiet, astonishing discovery. Even when everything is taken from us, one freedom remains: the freedom to choose how we respond. He wrote, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances." That freedom didn't come with power, weapons, or resistance. It came with silence, a light barely flickering in the dark, but it was enough to keep him human. Inside the camp, Frankl began observing those around him. Some gave up, some turned on one another in desperation, but others, frail, starving, barely alive, still chose kindness, sharing their last piece of bread, offering a glance of comfort, holding a hand in silence. These small, almost invisible acts were proof. People don't live by conditions. They live by meaning. After the war, Frankl returned to a world where his loved ones no longer existed. But instead of bitterness, he chose to write, to understand, to pass on what suffering had taught him. His book, Man's Search for Meaning, was born, not just a memoir, but a deep psychological and spiritual reflection on survival, suffering, and the inner freedom that sustains us. In it, he introduced logotherapy, a form of existential therapy built on the belief that healing doesn't come from comfort, but from discovering a purpose greater than oneself. He believed that if a person had a reason to live, they could endure almost anything. Frankl didn't preach blind optimism. He didn't deny pain. On the contrary, he showed that even within pain, meaning can be found. And it is that meaning, not comfort, that keeps us standing. Today, the world may no longer have concentration camps in the same form, but many of us live in quieter prisons: anxiety, grief, purposelessness, depression. In a culture that chases happiness like a product, Frankl's voice reminds us, happiness is not the goal. It is the byproduct. And the true goal is meaning. The enduring message Viktor Frankl left behind is a quiet anchor for modern life. We can't always control what happens, but we can always control how we respond. Pain is not meaningless. It can awaken us if we let it. We don't live for pleasure. We live for a purpose worth enduring pain. A man who has a why to live can bear almost any how. So if you find yourself in the dark, remember what he discovered. Meaning doesn't have to be grand. Sometimes all it takes is one thing to believe in, one thing to live for, and that alone can help you take the next step.